I would say that being excited about chess is always a good thing. I've never seen it, never felt it to be a bad thing. But I've also spoken at some length about how after a while it's very difficult to mentally tell yourself something is new and exciting. In this case, you have to find sort of slightly rejig your goals. So if you feel that defending the world title is a kind of burden, then you try to find something enjoyable at the chessboard to do. Say, well, I can play this opening for the first time, or do something completely new, or change the challenge a little bit to make it so. What I try to convey a little bit also is sometimes it's difficult, and you shouldn't overestimate how much excitement you can generate. Sometimes you have to make do with a little and keep that going.
Yeah, and a couple of students also wanted to know if at any point in your life you thought about giving up chess. God forbid.
Yeah.
We don't want you, but
I've often felt like I didn't want to play chess anymore. That comes very often. But it's never been anything that 2 or 3 months away from the game hasn't cured. So, more to the point, I would say, when you have this feeling, and I've seen it in other great players, when you have this feeling and it doesn't go away after a year, and it doesn't go away after a year and a half, then it's probably time to stop. But it's completely normal sometimes to be just sick of something and wondering what you've done with your life and all that. I think if you then take a break from it for 1 or 2 months and it goes away, then it's a very normal feeling. So.
Okay, Sachin?
Yes, sir. There are many of the students who want to know who is your role model in your life or your inspiration.
Well, my big hero was Michael Tal, who was a world champion in 1960, and I in fact played in his chess club in Chennai. I simply liked the way he enjoyed chess. By that I mean that not only did he enjoy playing tournaments, I've seen him go to the bar afterwards with chess fans and just play blitz all day with them. He really seemed to enjoy being around the game the whole time, and that I enjoyed a lot. And I also thought he was very approachable and nice, and I respected that a lot.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, I have a student, Chloe, from first year. If you could introduce yourself and...
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Good day. I am Chloe Fernandez from first year BA. I'm a huge fan. You inspire us all. And I have a question for you today. Now, you've had a number of wins all your life. So I would like to know which win was closest to your heart and why.
I think it's very difficult to choose between these things. I mean, I remember the feeling I had when I won the World Junior, for instance. And if I compare it to winning the world titles nowadays, of course, the world titles are more important. But I think I'm not happier now than I was before. I think it's very difficult to choose between these things. In my opinion, every milestone gives you a certain amount of satisfaction, and then you can't compare. It's not comparable. So there are many moments in my career that I remember with great fondness, and that remains so.
Okay, if I can have... Thank you. If I can have Mr. Anthony Rosario da Costa, an alumnus. He has given me a question. Is he here? Okay. It's a tandem opposite question to the previous question.
I am an alumnus of the institution.
Hello.
My question is, what was the most difficult moment in your life during your chess duel?
Well, one crisis was in 2001, when for a few months I really had this feeling that things were slipping away. Then last year actually was very difficult. From September to December I had just a series of tournaments which went very badly. That was very difficult, but also because I didn't have time to even think about what happened. I had to stop thinking about that and get ready for the World Championship. So, I mean, you know there's a problem, but you're forced to ignore it and go somewhere completely different. I mean, these things come and go, but for me now, winning the World Championship was huge, especially because of the background. And hopefully, in the second half of the year, when I start playing again, I'll be able to deal with my results from last year.
Yes, sir. I have a question for you. One of the students, Cheryl DeCosta, makes this question. Which is the most tragic incident in your life, and how did you overcome it?
Well, I guess tragic generally when someone that you like very much passes away or something like that. I remember when I was 12, an uncle with whom I'd been incredibly close actually died in a plane accident. And that was really tough. But what can I say? Time heals these things.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, moving from that, there was an incident you narrated to our students yesterday, which I clearly enjoyed. I think the question the students had asked you at that time was, what was the funniest thing that has ever happened to you during a chess duel match? And you narrated an incident which happened in a train. Could you please relate that? Because I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed that.
Well, I was once traveling on a train in Kerala, and one of these, well, it's more than 20 years ago, and there's one of these elderly gentlemen sitting next to me, the kind that asks you a lot of questions and so on. So he said, what do you do? I said, I'm a chess player. He said, but you study and so on. I said, no, I'm actually a chess player. He said, but you have a job, you're planning to get a job. I said, no, really, I'm a professional chess player. And then he couldn't really, you could see that he was very uncomfortable. I mean, I'll cut a long story short, he actually tried many approaches. Father has a company, this, that, nothing. And then he said, this sports career is not very good. It's very risky. He said, if you were Vishwanathan Anand, you can make a living playing chess. But otherwise, beta, it's very risky. So, actually, I had a very interesting follow-up last year. It's not exactly the same thing, but it's similar. Where I was going in airport security. So sometimes they have these two lines to go past the X-ray detector and metal detector. And then the man opposite me started looking at me and then looking back. And he looked at me again and looked back. And I could see he was mentally rummaging and praying to see if he could, because he had the feeling he'd seen me somewhere before and so on. And then afterwards, when he got through security, he had this facial expression of saying, now I know who he is. And so I thought he probably connected the dots. Then he came to me just as we were picking up our hand luggage, and he said, your last movie was super. Anyway, I got back home, and my wife said, well, why didn't you ask him which movie? And I said, how does it matter which movie it was? He says, I want to know whether he thought you were a hero or a villain.
Yes, there's a question from Vinisha from 11B. She says that if you were a chess champion, what other occupation would you take up and why?
Oh, many people have asked this question. Yeah. I think they're very interested to know what you would be if you were not a chess champion.
My father and brother were both engineers, so that was one thing I considered, simply to follow in their footsteps. And in general, I'm interested in things like astronomy and science, so I might have done something along those lines. Also, I think it's very similar to chess. Doing research or studying is very similar in many ways to chess, though maybe the sporting element isn't there. And I think that kind of life I would probably enjoy.
Thank you. I have a question from a parent. Can I have a Miss Bhagwati Bhatt? Okay. Let me just come quickly to you.
I'm C.A. Bhagwati Bhatt. I'm a parent of an upcoming chess player of Goa. So I want to know whether, given a choice, as a parent, would you like to have your child become a chess player?
Good question. Well, at one level I would say it's really up to him. So my thing is I'll leave the chessboard near him at some point and see how he reacts. But ideally I think what my parents did also is they didn't suggest chess. They put me into tennis, table tennis, badminton, many sports and activities. And I happened to go along chess and they let me do that. So that is kind of the approach I would try. I would try to expose him to as many interesting things as possible and let him take it from there. The other thing, of course, is with chess, I'm not sure because maybe they will keep comparing him to me and that's maybe not a nice feeling for him to have the beginning, so I don't know. But if he chooses chess, I'm not going to stop him for sure. But that element will be there and I'd be very happy if he was interested in chess, but we'll see.
So there's a question from Gitu George. Are you somewhere, Gitu George? Yes.
So, sir, how would you appreciate playing chess applies in real life?
Okay, so one of the things I do is to try to get chess into schools. And I've been doing this with the company that I work with, NIT, getting chess into a lot of schools. And we have some programs designed for schools and colleges. The basic idea is that the chances that you play chess are influenced by two things. One is that you meet someone who introduces you to the game and becomes a sparring partner. And second, that this happens often so that you don't lose connection with the game. So that was the idea to bring it into. The reason we did this was because there are many studies showing that children who play chess, or even people of any age, but children who play chess develop certain skills, problem solving, the ability to think in strategic terms. But most importantly, the idea that certain things have consequences. I mean, in chess, this is the thing I think you feel the strongest. You make a move, you have to live with its consequences. You can't take it back. And once you've made that move, you'll have to deal with whatever happens after that. So this objectivity and I think these sort of things, beyond that, obviously studying a lot of chess allows you to train your memory. So we feel it's very good in schools. So I try to get it into a lot of schools and colleges. In fact, 2 states have started to join us a little bit. Gujarat put it into school curriculum, now Tamil Nadu has followed as well. So that's very nice. But I think it's a healthy thing. Probably not in excess because chess players, I don't know if it teaches you social skills, so it's probably good to mix it with some other things. But some things it does teach you very well. And at the age group championships, we generally dominate. By age group, I mean under 18, 16, that sort of. So at those things we do very well. As you know, we have the champion Nana Club. And so there is a lot of potential there. However, we've had slightly less success than many of these students then don't follow up later. But inevitably, I think with numbers it will do well. And second thing is, it's not mutually exclusive. I don't see any reason why we can't do well in several sports. So it's not necessarily one or the other. Besides, I think it is getting very popular. When I was starting out in chess, it was very difficult to find people who played chess. And now it's just becoming increasingly common. So I think progressively these kind of opportunities and all will get better for